This video is about the electrification of truck fleets. I'm your professor, Dr. Stephen Haggard. We know that trucks move most of the freight in this country, and they burn a whole lot of diesel doing it. And we know that diesel costs money, and we also know that diesel is a contributing factor for carbon emissions. And so we see diesel trucking as a nice target for carbon reduction. And right now, the solution that is being promoted is to electrify trucks using batteries. That all sounds really good. You can have this sustainable electricity that you use to charge up these batteries, and you end up with a net zero carbon solution for heavy transportation. Recently, Ryder, R-Y-D-E-R, a fleet management company, has come out with a report on the costs of electrifying, and the Wall Street Journal has produced a lovely article on the topic. And I will put a link to that article in the description below. But here's what we need to know. First of all, batteries are heavy, and this makes electric trucks heavy. And if you've ever been involved with trucking at all, you know that those scales at the side of the highway don't measure the weight of the cargo. They measure the overall weight of the truck and the cargo. And as a result, if you're carrying extra weight for batteries, that's weight you can't carry in cargo. And so you can carry less cargo in a battery electric truck. Furthermore, battery-powered trucks being heavier actually wear out their tires more quickly. Also, these trucks are about 3 times more expensive to purchase than an equivalent diesel truck. And then we have the problems of range and charging. Installing all of the infrastructure to get these things going is very expensive, and then we have to pay 3 times as much for the truck. And as a result of the range and the charge times, along with the reduction in cargo, we end up having to have about twice as many electric trucks to carry the same amount of cargo as we do diesel trucks. One of the problems with the long charging times is that it basically kills off team driving. Think about team driving a diesel truck, which is something my wife has often suggested that we do in retirement. Basically, one person drives while the other person sleeps. And as a result, you can basically keep that truck moving, only stopping for bathroom breaks and to fill up with diesel. But when you've got a battery that requires several hours to charge, that's no longer possible. And so a lot of the 1 to 2 day delivery that you're getting now is being team driven across the country to your local distribution center. But if we go with electric trucks, you won't be able to do that. That cargo will probably have to go by air. And we see that the operating costs, according to Ryder, for these trucks, not only are they 3 times more expensive to buy, we've got to have twice as many of them. So now we've got 6 times as much money invested in these trucks. And, you know, that might be okay if there were some cost savings involved, but there aren't. The cost to operate these fleets, once all the infrastructure is in place, is 56 to 67% higher per year than it would be with equivalent diesel trucks. Now, one of the arguments for electric trucks is that they have fewer parts and they'll require less maintenance as a result. But the problem is that the parts that are needed on these trucks are far more expensive because electric trucks just aren't that common, and so the economies of scale for producing those parts just aren't there. Now, eventually, with large enough fleets, those problems that economy of scale problem would be solved, but we're not going to be solving the problem that goes along with the tires for maintaining these things, and so they're going to continue to have these heightened operating costs. And so between the investment in the infrastructure, the investment in the trucks, which is about 6 times what we'd be looking at otherwise, and the increased operating costs, there is no way at current that a fleet can be electrified in a way that is going to add to shareholder wealth. It's always going to cost shareholders money to do this until we have significant improvements in battery weight, in range, and in charge times. And so we have to work on those three things in order to make this feasible. Now that means we need to be, instead of investing money in government subsidies to get people to buy our current technology electric trucks, we need to be pouring that government money into basic research and development to solve these three problems. Once those three problems are solved, then the goal of financial management, which is to maximize shareholder wealth, will kick in, and battery electric trucking will become the equilibrium solution for moving cargo across this country. Please feel free to like, subscribe, and share, and I hope to be putting out more videos like this in the near future.